I'm gonna be honest. Um, I don't really know what to talk about when it comes to Hollywood nepotism, other than I've noticed a lot of other people talking about it recently. And I'm just curious about the discourse, and I want to know if I have anything to add, because the first thing I see when I see a conversation happening around me, or the first thing I think is how can I get involved somehow? How can I interject my voice? Because I, feel this great desire to be heard. So, um, yeah, I've noticed a lot of people talking about it, and I don't want this stream to be all like reviews and stuff. In fact, I'm a lot more interested in just talking about like news and stuff, or not even news. I'm just more interested in participating in discourse than I am with reviews. It's just reviews help make for more organized segments, whereas I'm trying to figure out how to go about these these other things. So I don't know. Let's look up something here. Hollywood Nepo babies. This is okay. Okay, so they were on a New York Magazine cover. Here are the Hollywood Nepo babies who have spoken out about that New York Magazine cover. So apparently there was a New York Magazine cover. Ah, I see. Okay, this is John David Washington. Is that a Deschanel right there? I don't know. Don't know who that is. Maya Hawke, Maud Apatow, Lily Rose Depp, Ben Platt, Zoe Kravitz. Okay, so I think that's not a Deschanel. I don't know who these two are. That's Dakota Johnson, right? Okay, so I don't know who that guy is. Um, we love them, we hate them, we respect them, we're obsessed with them. In our latest issue, we put together an exhaustive accounting of the actors, rock stars, models, directors, producers, influencers, writers, and insiders who just happen to be the children of actors. Yeah, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Famous. Okay. Several celebs have spoken out about the story, including Kate Moss's sister, Lottie Moss, in a tweet that has been deleted since due to the backlash Lottie mused. I'm so sick of people blaming nepotisms for why they aren't rich and successful, and famous or successful. Obviously, it's not fair that people who come from famous families are getting a leg up, but guess what? Life isn't fair. If you put your mind to something, you can accomplish. I hate this. Okay. Whatever, dude. Meanwhile, Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., has dropped some tweets saying my dad told me in a perfect world I would play him in Straight Outta Compton. I was already in college for screenwriting at USC. I accepted the challenge and auditioned for 2 years before getting the role. After that, it was up to me. He couldn't hold my hand through my career. I had to get my ass up and make it work. From the roles I chose, the work ethic I put into them, my professionalism on sets and promo tours, even leaving his agency and going to find a team of my own. Once the door was open, it was up to me to walk through it and thrive. Lily Allen, whose mom is a producer, blah, blah. The Nepo babies y'all should be worrying about are the ones working for legal firms, the ones working for banks, and the ones working in politics, or real world consequences of robbing people of opportunity, but that's none of my business. Okay, she later clarified her comments in a series of tweets, writing a follow-up that saying, look, I seem to have riled up with my comments about Nepo babies. I'm nearly 40 years of age and am more than happy. In fact, I think it's important to disclose what a privileged upbringing I've had. Okay. So we have Nepo babies. I haven't read this New York Mag article. Is there an article? Well, okay. We'll stick to this for now, okay? I think I could probably figure what it says. Okay. How long is this? Fuck. Oh man, I don't want to read through this whole thing on stream, right? Okay. Let's just stick to this one for now, okay? It's short and sweet. I can reply to more. This still sucks. Okay. Um, so nepotism babies in entertainment. What do we think? Okay. So the first thing to be said is that these Nepo babies are the most exposed because people in entertainment are the most exposed people. There are no Nepo babies, quotes, nepotism babies, in every industry. Every single industry you could ever think of, ever. If it's an industry, they exist because there are people who own businesses in that industry. Even in politics, it exists. So in government, that's not even industry, that's government. Nepotism will exist anywhere where there are social structures because people get to the tops of those structures or near the top. And then, and then they have kids or family members, and those family members can benefit from their, the social standing. And so you have people who in every corner of life will inevitably just not have to work as hard. When I was in, when I did baseball in grade school, I had coaches where their son was on the team, and they would put their son as a pitcher because it was their son. His son sucked at pitching, but he did it. So, what I'm saying is this isn't exclusive to entertainment. So I don't know how many people are out there pretending or thinking that it is exclusive to the entertainment industry, but it's not. I think most people are sensible enough to know that. So there are people who benefit off of their connections to the entertainment industry. So I guess the first thing to get out of the way would be that. Is that it's not exclusive to entertainment. The next thing is that there are benefits that also go outside of strictly nepotism, right? Like, there's a YouTuber who had a great video on this, actually. Let me see if I can find her channel here. Her name was like Amanda something. Amanda. Fuck. Wait. Let me actually. Okay. Can I search my subscriptions? I know I'm subscribed to her. I don't know, dude. Oh, fuck. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find her. Okay. Yes. Oh, she literally has a video. I haven't seen this one, but how to make art if you're not a Nepo baby. Okay, so this is a really good YouTuber. I really like her stuff. I have not seen any of her more recent videos, but she did have a she's making a movie. Oh my gosh. Wait, oh fuck. I got to check that out. Sorry. Okay. I'm getting a little. Okay, so yes, why all your favorite celebrities have rich parents. So I think this is the one I'm thinking of, but this is a very, very good video. You should check it out. But she has a lot of interesting points to make in the video. Which is, not most celebrities aren't nepotism babies. I don't think. At least nepotism in the entertainment industry. But most celebrities do benefit from having either wealthy parents or, at least upper middle class parents, something like that. And so, there's just, especially in entertainment, it's hard to pursue a career in music, film, art, anything in that world, without having a kind of a cushy foundation to rest on, or to always, rely on. So yes, there are people who absolutely, Maya Hawke, her both of her parents are famous actors. And so, that does help her out. But what else helps you out is having money. So, your parents, don't have to be in Hollywood. You could have parents that are doctors. You could have parents that are lawyers or, banker or, whatever. And then you still have a leg up over everybody else because, you're able to go to school and it can be paid for, and you get the best. You get to study without having to worry about working. It can start as early as, high school, middle school, where, there are a lot of people who have to, get jobs to help support their families. And so they have a little less time to put into extracurriculars. They have a lot less time to study just for regular classes. And so, it starts pretty early on. And then, it kind of goes from there. Whereas, kids of wealthier parents, obviously don't have to worry about that as much. They don't have to get that job to help support the family. They can just focus on their studies. Or they can do the extracurriculars. They can do theater. They can do the film club. They can do whatever. And then that kind of gives them a leg up. And then obviously when they go off to college, they can get into better schools because they had more time to study, to get better grades, to get like scholarships or whatever. Or they just have the money to be able to afford the very expensive schools or the good, the best acting professors or classes or whatever. And so generally in the, especially because film, if we're looking primarily at film is one of the most expensive art forms. It's I mean, it sucks because it's my primary art form that I've picked, but it's a lot more expensive to make a film than it is to make a song, or to paint a picture, or to take a photograph. It's it's kind of the unfortunate aspect of it. It doesn't have to be, actually. If you want to get a little bit more positive about film, there is a great YouTuber by the name of Joel Haver. I would check him out on YouTube. He has a very different philosophy of filmmaking can be free and accessible to everybody relatively. But yeah, so it doesn't necessarily have to be, but with the way that most of the film world operates now, it is pretty expensive. Hopefully, maybe things will transition more into the Joel Haver sense of things, but as it is right now, it's an expensive medium, and people who participate in film, one of the more expensive artistic mediums, kind of need money to do that. I will say, with acting specifically, that one doesn't take as much money to do as it is to maybe be like a producer or director or something, because you're not, obviously as an actor, you're not paying to make a movie. Usually you're doing, when you're in college, you're doing student films for free, or you're getting paid a little bit, or, whatever. But in order to pursue it, you need to, you're doing it with the exception that you're most likely not going to make it. And so people who do that are doing it knowing that and accepting that, either you can be poor like me, although I do have parents, who, if things ever went south, I couldn't afford this place anymore, I could move back in with my mom. And that'd be fine. So even that's a privilege in itself, right? But there are other people who parents put them through school or whatever, and so that can be a benefit in a way. It doesn't necessarily take nepotism, and then nepotism itself only really gets you so far, especially in entertainment. I would actually argue that it's harder. Okay. I don't know enough about other industries, so I can't argue this super confidently. What I was going to say, and this could be wrong, is it's hard to make it a lasting career as a nepotism baby in Hollywood, whereas maybe in other industries, like if your parent owns, a line of hotels or something, um, you you could put somebody in charge who is just bad, who's just, it's there's somebody's son or daughter, or a child of this person who owns all these hotels, and it could be a very incompetent person, and then it'd obviously take the other people working around them to pick up the slack and to do it. But as an actor, you're it's just you. You're the actor, you're the person playing the role. And so if you're a bad actor, nepotism only ever gets you so far. So nepotism babies obviously also have to make it on the merit of their talent. So I think when it comes to nepotism discourse, maybe I think people are a little too quick to, or I think there's a lot of people who will say that, like, the nepotism babies don't actually have talent. They just got there because of their parents. No, any nepotism baby who gets the place that they're in and they find success is usually pretty talented in what they do. It's less about their talent and more about the way they were able to access getting that talent. And that's something that Amanda, I don't know her last name, talks about in her video, is that generally it's, like I was saying, the access to good schools and good professors, and the amount of time that you're able to have to really cultivate or master your skill in that field. And so that's where nepotism babies get the most benefit. You could slide Maya Hawke's name across a desk, in a casting room or casting or whatever. And it might be appealing at first for her to have the last name Hawke and be like, okay, Ethan Hawke, that's his daughter. But if she sucks, then, I mean, somebody else could have a really appealing name. It's like, it can only really ever get you so far. It might get you an initial job or one initial opportunity, but it won't extend past maybe one or two jobs, I would assume. And that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of where the influence ends, right? Because we've also seen nepotism babies come up and then quickly fall away because they didn't have what it takes. They couldn't cut it. It's the same thing with there's another term that people use, industry plants, right? Industry plants can just quickly go away. They're like, and I don't know, I feel you could argue there's so many different versions of like what you could argue as an industry plant. I guess maybe that's why I'm a little confused as to where like nepotism baby begins and ends. Like, you're a nepotism baby if you have parents that are in the industry, but like if you have parents that are in a related industry, or if you don't have parents that are in the industry at all, but like what if like, okay, you live in LA, you're a kid growing up in LA, your parents are successful, but they're not successful in entertainment. Maybe they own a line of, maybe, you have a parent who's like a CEO of like a gas company. I don't know, just has a ton of money in an industry unrelated to film. And then does that count as like a nepotism baby? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. But would that count as like an industry I don't fucking know. Essentially, is the bar where like if Jeff Bezos had like a daughter who wants to get into acting, and who knows, he might. I don't know. I think he has kids, but I don't know anything about them. Would that daughter count as a nepotism baby? Obviously, she would have great opportunity to study her work. She could go probably wherever, whatever school she wanted to go to, get her foot in the door anywhere. It's more about getting the foot in the door, but would she be able to cut it? So I don't know. If we're going back to what these people are saying, right? I'm sick of people blaming nepotism for why they aren't richer and famous or successful. Um, okay, life isn't fair. If you put your mind to it, it's something you can accomplish. Okay, that was a Lottie Moss statement. I mean, it's kind of a stupid statement, especially in film. Um, I would say, like, you could apply yourself to being a lawyer or like a doctor or like something where it's like, okay, no matter what, if you study really, really, really hard and you really, really apply yourself, and even then there is probably at least somewhat of a barrier to like just how naturally smart you are, or how or even how much time, it's I would imagine it's hard to become a doctor on a part-time basis, right? Or, well, I mean, I have a friend who, she's studying to be a doctor, and that's all of her time. So you couldn't be a doctor if you were working a part-time job. I don't imagine. Maybe there are cases of it, but I don't imagine it's common. So that's like, I don't know, for Lottie Moss to say this stupid shit about the life isn't fair. If you put yourself mind to something, you can accomplish it. No, that's not true. There are a lot of entertainment relies so much on just being in the right place at the right time, on luck, on connections. If some people there are so many people who could have been one of the greatest actors in the world, one of the greatest directors, writers, anything. But because they just didn't get that same opportunity, they didn't make it. So there's a great story of like, somebody who comes to mind immediately is like Naomi Watts, right? Love Naomi Watts. She's like, why the fuck do you just keep doing that? He's like going in circles. Yeah, dude, oh my God. Okay. Sorry, my cat's being fucking stupid right now. Okay. Naomi Watts was going to quit acting, right before she was cast in Mulholland Drive, right? And so here's a super talented actress nominated for an Oscar, I think for 21 Grams. And she's going to quit acting until she gets that one final call. Well, what if we get somebody who is as talented, if not more talented than Naomi Watts? Maybe, she auditioned for Mulholland Drive, but she wasn't right for that character specifically, still super talented. And then she went through with quitting. And then now we're missing out on a wonderful talent. And so, okay, you have to stop, bro. You're being so annoying. Okay, sorry. My cat's being like super annoying. He's like going in circles. I wonder if he's going to do it again. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. There he goes. Why are you... What? Okay. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Fuck, dude. Yeah, this nepotism baby shit is, it's pretty crazy. He keeps talking. Why is he screaming like that? What is he doing? Can you guys hear that? Can you hear that? Anyways, I agree with like O'Shea, O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s statement, where it's like his dad could hold his hand for a period of time. He could help him out, but at a certain point it really does so his dad can get him in the door. I think that's, if anything comes from this nepotism baby shit, it's like you get in the door, but you do really have to make it on the merits of your talent, as with anybody. There are a few people who get through who aren't talented, but they don't usually last long. It's not like we get somebody who just sucks all across the board. Unless they get maybe like some sort of cult fan base or something. But even then, you couldn't argue that they suck across the board because they have a fan base who, makes it, right? like there's so many people who like Willow Smith's music, right? Like she has fans. And like I don't think anybody would tell you that they just like her because she's a Smith kid. I think they love her music. Um and you know, she could have easily faded away, and she kind of like, I mean, she had the whip my hair thing that didn't work out. So I guess maybe you could argue that she got, you know, she got those opportunities because of her family, but she's sticking around. She's one of the most popular musicians right now because of her work at this point. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit more complicated than people just being like, oh, these like nepotism babies don't have to do shit. It's like they do have to be good at the thing that they're famous for. It's more that they just get more opportunity to practice, and they get a little bit more exposure in the beginning. But after those first few initial steps into their career, they're kind of dealing with the same shit as everybody else. And I would say that the bigger unfairness, besides like there's nepotism, but I think the bigger thing is more the class distinction of, you know, instead of focusing so much on nepotism babies, like, you know, kids, it makes sense if you're a kid and your parents do something like Maya Hawke, both of her parents were actors, it makes sense she would get into acting. It's like, I can't blame her. John David Washington, his dad is one of the probably the most famous black actor, you know, of all time, or at least one of the more most acclaimed or successful or whatever. It makes sense he would follow in his dad's footsteps. Like, that's not crazy to think. So nepotism, yeah, it makes sense. It's more, the bigger problem I think people should have is that there is such a barrier for entry in terms of just like class, in terms of how much this shit costs. Like, there's a reason, and I disagree with people who think that pursuing art in college is a waste of time. But I also understand them. Like I understand how scary of a concept that is. Like, college is so expensive, and to pursue a degree in film or in any art could be scary to a lot of parents. And so, I mean, if we didn't have that financial barrier, we would get a lot more people who would, you know, be willing to explore that, and then explore those opportunities, and you know, really grow as artists. Or if we paid more, you know, we'd get more people who would be able to pay their own way through school. Kind of like, you know, my dad always talks about, you know, paying his own way through college. And you know, that was a while ago. But you know, if we, you know, maybe made college a little bit more accessible to everybody, with, you know, regular wage, or, you know, if we somehow lowered that barrier to entry for artistic, pursuits, that's the bigger thing in my head versus like nepotism babies. I don't think this is a huge concern. I think it actually makes a lot of sense that these kids would follow in their parents' footsteps. It's not shocking. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if I have any hot take, that would be the hottest take, is that nepotism babies don't really matter. It's more about like wealth, and that being the distinction, because I really do think that's where it is. Like, I think there's so many people who would have amazing art and amazing things to contribute to film, to music, to whatever, if they could just get past that the hurdle of finances. You know, that, I mean, in my life, that has been my biggest hurdle. Like, I mean, I just talked about, last time I streamed, I talked about getting scammed, and then, you know, right before I got scammed, my car broke down, and so I was saving up for another film shoot, for a show that me and my friend Mary are working on, and I had to use all of my money that was going to go to that shoot on my car instead. And so now I have no money for film, and after the scam, I have no money in real life. I have no money for anything. So now I'm trying to catch up on that. And fuck, if film weren't so goddamn expensive, I would be able to make more art that I'm really passionate about. And I would be able to contribute more and to grow more as an artist, and to get more opportunities. And if I had wealthier parents, they would be able to support me financially in my film pursuit more. If I had parents that were like doctors or something, maybe they could help like finance my short films or whatever. And so I wouldn't even have to worry about like raising money for them or like saving up at my serving job. And so, while I would still have to make it on the merits of my talent, it would just be those hurdles that are, those can be the biggest thing, especially for me, because I have so many scripts, and I think I'm actually a really great writer. I think I'm a great writer. I think I'm a good actor, and I think I'm getting better at directing. But writing is something I'm very, very confident in. And I think, if I didn't have to worry about money, I would be able to grow so much faster. And so that's the biggest thing. Obviously, I'm not a nepotism baby. When it comes to, my dad used to own pizza places, 2 pizza shops. So, and I did work at them. So I guess in that area, I might have been a nepotism baby. But I don't know. I was still working like minimum. I was like 14, 15. I was working for minimum wage, $7.25 an hour. And so I think, there were benefits I had. Like, I guess I couldn't really get fired. That was nice. But also I didn't have to, I don't know. I'm a good worker. I've never gotten fired from any other job I've had. And I've had way more jobs since then. So it was never anything I had to worry about. Anyways, I think I'm just kind of repeating myself at this point. I think I've made my point. Sorry if this is like long-winded. I just think a lot of discourse around this shit is kind of stupid. I don't need to read that other article. Okay.